I'm gonna tell you one. This is a short story, and it happened to me last week. I was gonna share it on Facebook, but I figured I'll make a video about it because this is part of me growing, be learning, be learning it. I'm unlearning and relearning. So, uh, me and a coworker, I'm not gonna say the guy's name, but he may or may not see this. But um, last Thursday, and I'm gonna just go ahead and start off. I start the day off with gratitude. And I tell people when I get up in the morning, it doesn't matter if I'm sick, if I got a headache, regardless of what's going on with me, I get on my knees and I get my mind ready for the world. I started doing that a couple of years ago and it's good for me. So I'm gonna tell you what happened to me. So I go into work, I'm a 20-year veteran, truck driver. And one thing led to the other. Me and this other coworker, got in a truck. We having a conversation, and I was saying, I aggravate him because I say I'm allowed to wait. I'm allowed to make one mistake a year. And I said this is my mistake. So we having it wasn't even a heated conversation, but it was a passionate conversation because me and him we're talking about his wife and his kids, and I'm just not going in on him, but I'm having a conversation with him. And so as I'm backing the trailer up, like my mind, and the last time I've done this, I was at Cisco. I will say that for the record. And I left Cisco in 2022. So of course I missed the kingpin. And so now the fifth wheel is behind the kingpin. So I'm gonna tell you how my mind works. I'm sitting here like, okay, I got a timer in my head. It starts ticking. So I'm like, okay, I'm counting down in my head. I'm thinking, man. And so I look at the coworker and I said, look, I'm gonna just turn it sideways. He's like, no, 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 we can't do this. We can't do that. So now the 41-year-old me, 20 veteran driver, my mom, as soon as he said that, I was like, Matthew, he's only been driving 4 years, I think 5 years. Listen to what he has to say. Hear the guy out. So he come up with the bright idea. His idea worked. Now I didn't say, look, I got 20 years on you. This is what we need to do. I didn't say that because at that point, my mind is ticking and my clock is running. So I lost all train of thought. So that was a learning lesson and a humbling situation for me. So the coworker, he walked me through what we needed to do, and his idea worked. So, but he still gave you a hard time because in the midst of it, he said, you said you would drive for 20 years. And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of like triggered me a little bit because I'm like, this ain't the time to be joking about that. But he was serious, but he was joking, but he was joking. So, but it was a great lesson. So yeah, I missed the kingpin, fifth wheel behind the kingpin, which none of y'all, I'm gonna give y'all I'm gonna explain to y'all what you have to do. If you're on a flat ground, which we was not on a flat ground, we was on a slope. Well, we was at an angle. So if you're on a flat ground, you take the landing gear, you got to crank it, crank it, crank it until the landing gear or the kingpin is above, of course, the fifth wheel. So then you can pull the tractor forward, crank the landing gear back down to where the trailer, basically when you back the tractor up, which I've been driving for 20 years, I should know this. When you back it up, if it don't pick up or start, if you don't feel nothing, then you need to stop because obviously somebody didn't crank that trailer up either. Well, they didn't crank it up too high. So basically you want to either lift the trailer or feel it hitting the trailer. that's how you know that it's gonna lock that fifth wheel. The fifth wheel is gonna lock the kingpin in. So, like I said, I'm not gonna say the brother's name, but it was a humbling situation because I remember it many times at Cisco. There'd be many mornings, in my mind, I got 15 minutes. Okay, you gotta do your pre-trip. You got your tractor, you gotta go find your trailer, you hook up, get your stuff, go get your hand truck, get your lunch box, and your backpack. So that's in my head going on. So with this new job, it's different. You may have a tractor hooked up, you may or may not. It all depends on the day. So that was a humbling moment for me. So thank you to the coworker. Like I said, I ain't gonna say your name because you gonna slap, you gonna rub it in my face. But I appreciate you. I was humble enough to listen to what I'm gonna call him a young bull because he gets the young bull. I'm not an old bull, but I listened to what the young bull had to say. Because one thing I learned is you can learn from anybody. I don't care if it's somebody on the street, somebody in a grocery store, somebody you at a fast food place, you at a gas station. You can learn from anybody if you just listen. Pay attention. Listen, at least hear them out. Listen to what they got to say. Because you never know. It might be some useful information. But I had to share that story because my boy, he's beat me up all day. We had a ride together all day, and he had to keep rubbing it in. He's like, yeah, man, we should have been done. We would have been out here if we didn't have that situation this morning. I'm looking at him like, bro, you got one more time to say it. But I respect the brother. I respect the young bull. Thank you for giving me the steps that you gave me, the information, because it was useful. And I will use it next time that I'm in that back area. I will know what to do next time because, like I said, my mind went everywhere else but where I needed to go. And he was focused. I give him credit for that. He was focused and he was on it. He came up with the plan. It worked. He didn't want to get dirty. He didn't want to get that fifth wheel grease on him. Of course I got dirty. He's like, man, I gotta take me a shower at this. I looked at him like, bro, come on, man. But be grateful though. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that brother. Very grateful for him. I rode with him Friday too, and getting to know him better. He's a good guy, a good young man. He's a good man. So I respect the guy.